Spain is imploring you. We need to do something about this conference.
Andrew approached the Assistant Secretary General.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Delegates, please.
Delegates, please get back to your seats. Secretaries, you know the drill. 1 minute clipping time. Secretaries, get your scissors ready. Over here, I see many clippings. Secretaries, get your scissors ready. 1 minute clipping time. Abubakar Yusuf, please come to the podium. Delegates, you're reminded any trash around your country in the next 4 minutes 30 seconds means that you all get clipped. Delegates, any trash around your country in the next 4 minutes 30 seconds means you all get clipped. Senior chairs, please take notes. We can begin walking around the countries. Anyone who has trash around them, we will clip all of them.
And now, delegates.
Delegates, there's a lost badge. Safraz Isa, please approach the podium. I don't know how this delegate is surviving without a badge. Yeah. This is a joke.
And to Walid and Andrew, if you don't find a way to get your badges displayed properly on your neck, you will be escorted out. So no matter how broken those badges are, I need to see them on your neck. Find a way.
Delegates, following the walkout of the US, India, China, and Russia, the world's largest emitters of carbon dioxide have officially left the COP20. You want to read them out. Group A, please elect your representative to come here and read your resolution to the General Assembly.
The next resolution on the agenda will be that of Group A. The representative of Group A, you have the floor. Group A is the one on this side.
Delegates, friendly reminder, please have your badges on throughout the whole conference. If you have no badge, you will be kicked out of the assembly.
The next resolution on the agenda is that of Group A. The representative of Group A, you have the floor.
Just a quick reminder, for those of you who haven't given your best resolution forms, please give it to the nearest secretary.
Group A, we're short of time. I'm giving you 30 seconds. (24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
We apologize for the wait. Topic: reducing carbon emissions in the world without the help of India, China, Russia, and USA. Calls of... We're joint sponsoring. The sponsor of this resolution is Argentina and Pakistan. Operative Clause 1 calls upon all countries to donate a minimum GDP level of 2%.
Chair calls orders of the day. There can be one representative, but you can yield to them in time for.
Can I just finish?
So pick one of you.
Delegates, eeny, meeny, miny, mo is in order.
Okay, so the sponsor of this resolution is Pakistan. 1 calls upon all countries to donate a minimum GDP level of 2% to contribute to the prevention of oil spills, increase in reforestation, improvement in green energy, and public transport. 2, any international or national oil spills must be handled by the ICJ. 3, if any party does not comply, sanctions may be imposed accordingly. 4, appeals to the creation of the Standardized Energy Corporation of the UN, which will overlook this resolution for any measures of reforestation, improvement in green energy, or public transport mentioned in Op Clause 1. 5, requests for the tax of $60 per metric ton of carbon dioxide excess produced by any country mentioned, any country willing of this resolution.
The resolution has been read. Is there a second? The resolution has been read and seconded. We will now move into 8 minutes debate time for Group A's resolution. The sponsor of Group A, you have the floor.
Fellow delegates, I urge you to vote for this resolution because what this resolution does is that it holds every single country, part of the UN, accountable for their actions. We all realize what a genuine concern climate change is. We saw that in the flooding in Pakistan, the delegation I am from. 33 million people were displaced. With this resolution, we're able to take funds from different countries and help countries that need help in infrastructure, in reforestation, in improvement in green tech. With this resolution, through the committee mentioned, we can initiate programs that will help build a sustainable future, not for us, for our generation, because we are the ones who are going to have to be dealing with the consequences of climate change. Through the tax mentioned in Op Clause 5, we'll be able to hold major greenhouse gas emitting countries responsible, as they'll finally be able to be held accountable in a mathematical figure that will affect their economy against climate change.
Is the speaker open to any points of information?
I'm open to 1 point of information.
The speaker is open to 1 point of information. Are there any such points? The speaker is open to 1 point of information. Are there any such points? The United States of America, state your point.
Point of information.
Point of information, state your point.
Didn't the United States walk out of this conference?
They're not representing the USA. We're just calling them the USA as of now because we can't. We need to call we're calling on the delegates, but the US as a delegation will not have much of a say apart from debating as a delegate, not as the USA.
It's just so we can recognize the speakers without actually saying their names.
Does the speaker agree that this resolution is a huge step to combating climate change?
I completely agree with you because it helps make everyone accountable, and for that reason I wholeheartedly urge you all to vote for this resolution.
Speaker open to any more points of information?
No, could I please yield to the delegation of Argentina?
This yielding is in order. Argentina, you have the floor.
Dear fellow delegates, I urge you all to vote for this resolution for the following reasons. Climate change is a worldwide issue, and it disappoints me that the foreign nations that contribute a lot to this issue walked out of this conference. It is embarrassing to hear that the biggest producers of carbon emissions walked out because
walked out because they left the conference, and all the other countries would now like to bring these aggressive reformative actions to mitigate the effects of climate change and global warming. This resolution uses a lot of different ways to combat this issue. The use of carbon tax, the use of sanctions to ensure that these countries participate, and the issues that they're solving, such as oil spills and deforestations, are all very commendable. If this resolution is effective and the countries that left this conference rejoin, this could and they work with this resolution could potentially combat and halt climate change.
Is the speaker open to any points of information?
I'm open to one.
The speaker is open to one strong point of information. Are there any such points? What's that? Yo. Sakina, what's that? What's that? Kuwait, state your point.
Does the speaker agree with me that this resolution holds all parties accountable for their actions?
Wholeheartedly agree. With all these sanctions they're placing and the use of carbon tax, they are holding every country accountable in their resolution, which is why you should all vote for this resolution.
Is the speaker open to any more points of information? Would you like to yield the floor back to the chair?
Yep.
The chair has the floor in time for Group A's resolution. Are there any calls for the floor in time for Kuwait? You have the floor.
Delegates of this General Assembly, this resolution takes a firm step towards eradicating climate change and reducing it as much as possible. All resolutions that have come here before are trying to minimize the effects of what we can do. We can do so much more, and this resolution is finally going to address that. Delegates, making all countries pay for their carbon emissions and putting a limit and making them a fine on carbon emissions per metric ton means that each country is responsible and knows that if it reduces its spending on carbon, then it can finally address the needs of its citizens. This resolution tackles this problem at the core. It does not go and say, we urge all members to reduce their carbon emissions. It makes all members reduce its carbon emissions. That is why all delegates should firmly vote for this resolution, because it is not going from the top, it is going from within. I am open to 2 points of information.
The speaker is open to 2 points of information. Are there any such points? Pakistan, state your point. The guy using his phone in Luxembourg, approach the chair with your phone.
Does the delegate agree that by involving measures of green tech and public transport improvement, the resolution provides a sustainable action to follow?
I completely agree with the delegate. This resolution puts all of the world's energy on climate change into the UN, and therefore the UN can work effectively and collaboratively to tackle this problem effectively. This resolution also talks of standard energy, which makes sure that the world is tackling this problem together and that it can be as effective as possible because it is standardized.
Can the secretaries Satyam and Eve please get the delegates using their phone in Luxembourg to approach the chair? If you can't figure out who it is, get the entire delegation to approach. The speaker open to any more points of information?
One.
The speaker is open to one more point of information. Are there any such points? Iraq, state your point.
Would the speaker please explain to me if the 2% donation of GDP is coming from every country in the world?
Yes, every country in the world, every nation would have to pay 2% of their GDP to this action so that the UN can collaboratively solve climate change.
Time for Group A's resolution has just expired. We'll now move into time against the floor. There will be a yielding of chairs.
Time against Resolution A has just begun. Are there any calls for the floor?
Point of information.
State your point.
May I approach?
Yes, you may. Are there any calls for the floor in time against Resolution A? Chair corrects herself. We will have time for Resolution B. Representative from Group B, please come and read out your resolution.
Can all delegates that were in Belize please approach the chair? Belize, approach the chair. Specifically the guy that I made the ambassador approach the chair.
Sponsor of Resolution B, please read the resolution.
Topic: implementing a 3-year pilot program to reduce the amount of carbon emission in the USA. 1. Request the IMF to act as a, train people that have been taught how to use the equipment gotten by the US government. Appeals to UN donor nations and NGOs to provide a fund pool of USD 180 million to be distributed based on preliminary survey conducted by the UNGDF for the development for solar panels at the southern steppes and the sea coast of the country, where population density is less than 3 people per kilometer squared. USD 50 million will be spent on 50 solar panels, where each solar panel costs 1 million. Request the IMF to act as a watchdog for the resolution and have the power to terminate the project immediately if deemed as unsuccessful and relocate the funds if necessary. 3. Welcomes any further suggestion to help strengthen the quality of this resolution.
Resolution has been read. Is there a second? The resolution has been read and seconded. We will now move into 8 minutes debate time for this resolution. Sponsor of the resolution, you have the floor.
International Solar Energy Society can transport and make the transport solar powered. The requirement is that it reduces carbon emissions and greenhouse gases. Unlike fossil fuels, solar power uses no pollutants and needs no other resources to function other than clean water. The release of toxic gases into the atmosphere, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, doesn't just contribute to air pollution, but also contributes to the enhanced greenhouse effect. While the greenhouse effect is a natural process that warms the Earth's surface to a livable temperature, human activities such as burning of fossil fuels have increased the amount of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. This has led to the enhanced greenhouse effect, which is warming our Earth faster than ever before. In recent years, this has been linked to a number of catastrophic weather events such as flooding, cyclones, storms, extreme heat, and drought. Generating electricity from solar panels produce no greenhouse gases whatsoever and so can help to reduce the effect of climate change if used widely. With solar energy powering a home or business, there is no burning of fuel and no emissions from energy production. Therefore, I urge you all to vote for this resolution.
Is the speaker open to any points of information?
1.
The speaker is open to 1 point of information. Are there any such points? Argentina, state your points.
Is the speaker aware that there are other factors that contribute to carbon emissions, and using solar power does not tackle all these factors?
I do not wish to answer that.
Is the speaker open to any other points of information?
No.
Would the speaker wish to yield the floor back to the chair?
Yes.
The chair has the floor in time for resolution B. Are there any calls for the floor? Canada, you have the floor.
I urge you all to vote for this resolution because the states that were mentioned by the fellow delegates had chosen Florida, California, and Texas as the states to implement this resolution because they're some of the most populated states in the U.S. and they would cause, they will have the most effect and reduce carbon emission in the U.S. And also this resolution can be further on used in other states as long as this first section works on well. Yeah, and also the International Solar Energy Society can raise awareness to California, Texas, and Florida residents on why they should switch to solar power energy. Yeah.
The speaker open to any points of information?
3.
The speaker is open to all 3 points of information. Are there any such points? Delegates, you are reminded that conference rules are still in order and they have not been suspended, so you're expected to be paying attention, taking notes, and debating as usual. Just because this is a crisis situation does not give you an excuse to not be paying attention, and you may be asked why you did a certain action, so just beware. Are there any points of information for resolutions B? Argentina, state your points.
Delegates, can you please participate in our crisis? It's getting pretty boring.
Is the speaker aware that only implementing this resolution in states of America does not tackle the problem across the whole entire world?
Yes, I agree. It doesn't tackle the problem in the whole entire world, but then you have to start from somewhere, and that's why we're starting with these 3 states that have a possibility of really reducing the carbon footprint. Yeah.
Is the speaker open to any more points of information?
Yeah, 2.
The speaker is still open to 2 points of information. Are there any such points? Delegates, you are reminded that this is a chance to speak and to get your points heard whilst we're still deciding the best speakers and best delegates, so use this chance. Korea, state your points.
Does the speaker agree with me that the solar panels will be used around the world once this resolution is deemed successful?
Yes, I fully agree with you, and that's why I should urge you all to vote for this resolution.
Speaker is still open to 1 point of information. Are there any such points? Arab League, state your points.
Can the delegate who is saying that thing about the mandate please approach the chair?
Does the speaker agree with me that if this program is implemented, it will take a step for the world into modernizing it?
Yes, I fully agree, and that's why I still strongly urge you all to vote for this resolution, because imagine the impact that it can have if it's successful and all other countries implement it. Thank you.
The speaker wishes to yield the floor back to the chair.
Yes.
The chair has the floor in time for Resolution B. Are there any calls for the floor? The chair encourages active debate. Are there any calls for the floor in time for Resolution B?
I'll try my best.
The chair encourages active debate. Are there any calls for the floor in time for Resolution B? Chair calls previous question. We will now be moving into a crossfire. There will be a yielding of chairs. Open debate, so you can either speak for or against any of them, any of the resolutions.
Are there any calls for or against any of the resolutions, A or B? Argentina.
Guys, Argentina can't be the only one participating. This is your chance to get onto that list. Come on.
Dear fellow delegates, I urge you all to vote against the resolution for Group B for the following reasons. First of all, they focused on simply solar energy, which I found really puzzling because that isn't even, not using renewable energy isn't even one of the main reasons right now. There's the livestock farming industry, there's improper use of energy in general. I don't think that working with just solar energy is ideal because half the year there's no sun in some countries and it's not a whole year-round energy that you could use. Had they suggested something like biogas, geothermal energy, it would have made much more sense. They are also focusing on only 3 American states, and I don't know if this would solve, and they never said that how long they would do this before they deemed the resolution to be effective, so that was a loophole that did not make sense. And they're only implementing it in the US, and which didn't make sense. Yeah, that's it.
Is the speaker open to any points of information?
1.
Speaker is open to 1 point of information. Are there any such points? Iceland, state your point.
Does the speaker agree with me that it takes long duration to install the solar panels?
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I'd also like to expand on that because the transportation, the building, and the maintenance of all these solar panels still uses what energy? To transport them, they use cars. And are you going to tell me they're all going to buy a Tesla that's an electric car to transport that? That's not really ideal. So the gas used in those cars to transport said vehicles would still be not useful.
Is the speaker open to any more points of information?
No.
Would the speaker like to yield the floor back to the chair?
No, I would like to yield to Kuwait.
This yielding is in order. Kuwait, you have the floor.
Point of information?
State your point.
May I approach?
Yes, you may.
Group B's resolution simply does not make sense. Solar energy. Many countries don't receive months and months on end don't get sunlight. What happens to them? What kind of energy would they turn to? Secondly, solar energy simply isn't sustainable. It takes so many solar panels to simply light up one house, let alone a whole country. This resolution does not make sense. A country like Russia would also benefit from wind power. Things like this simply just don't make sense. It doesn't specify the measure or accountability or who is accountable for all of this money, and how do you know, like the solar energy that you stated. Honest to God, how on earth do you expect that all countries can adhere to solar energy if there's simply no measure on it? I am open to one point of information.
Speaker is open to 1 point for information. Are there any such points? Montenegro, state your point.
Does the speaker agree with me that in some places solar energy will be completely unreliable?
Completely agree with the delegate from Montenegro from Group B. And that is why I'm saying that this resolution simply isn't sustainable, because what happens to the rest of the world? It just doesn't go, it doesn't have power, it goes without light. Please, let us be realistic.
The chair has the floor. Are there any calls for or against any of the resolutions?
Guys, let's clap for Argentina.
Iraq, you have the floor.
Delegates, before we continue, the executive committee, along with the chairing panel, have come to the conclusion that we are going to be scrapping an originally passed resolution, and that resolution is that of Germany. If you have any points of information regarding the following, please do approach the chair.
Fellow delegates, I'm here to oppose the resolution by Group A. Yeah. Carbon tax hurts the poorer, the relatively poorer people more than the rich people. And by imposing the carbon tax on everyone in the country, you're going to be hurting the people who emit the least amounts of carbon, because it is the top 1%, that is around 60 million people worldwide, who are the ones emitting the most carbon emissions. Also, the GDP tax on the 2% GDP tax.
Point of privilege.
State your point.
It's due to audibility.
Speaker, you're reminded to speak audibly and clearly, and delegates, you have to come to order. There's lots of murmuring going on.
Yeah, okay. The 2% GDP tax on every country worldwide, it kind of doesn't make sense, because poorer countries produce the least amount of global emissions, carbon emissions. So if you're going to tax every country, is it really fair to tax the people who produce the least amount and would probably need to be producing it anyways, because they're developing, and the more developed and richer countries produce like a whole lot of it. So yeah, it's not fair. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Is the speaker open to any points of information?
Yeah. One.
The speaker is open to 1 point of information. Delegates reminded not to raise your placard while the chair is speaking. Speaker is open to 1 point of information. Are there any such points? Pakistan, state your point.
Quick announcement before the point of information. Delegates, tickets for the Electrify Party are sold out. SOLD space OUT. Sold out. Not even one remaining. You can't even squeeze half a ticket from the treasurer. So please stop approaching and asking for tickets. Tickets are sold out.
Chair, the senior chair Sanskriti, along with the entire delegation of Germany, approached the chair immediately.
Is the delegate aware that 2% for each country would be equitable, because it would only take 2% of their current GDP? depending on the country it is. So if it's a low economically stable country, it would be 2% of that low GDP.
Yes, I am aware. But still, taking the 2% would not necessarily be fair, because if they're producing a really low amount of it, and let's say Germany is producing like a lot of it. Pardon?
Speaker, you remind to speak loudly and clearly.
Sorry. I can't remember what I said. So no, okay, yeah. So if you take away, yeah, the 2% tax on the GDP of the lower country of the lower income country isn't fair, in my opinion, because if the richer countries are producing the most carbon emissions and you're taking away the 2% GDP from the poorer countries who are producing less carbon emissions, then it's kind of like taking somebody else's lunch. If they have an apple and you have pasta, and
granted.
In that regard, it would be fair. Plus, there is...
Exactly, they're the biggest producers.
Ambassador of Norway, who spoke about the mandate, approached the chair.
Delegates, what you say that the tax system isn't progressive, well, it really is. For example, if you have a low-income country and you tax 2% of that, or you tax 2% of the USA, that is a big differential. Again, as I said, because you're taxing a higher income country, normally the higher the GDP, the more the carbon emissions. That's why the system becomes progressive. And on top of that, we have even added that per metric ton, each country is to be taxed $65. So you can imagine, the more the carbon, how much people are getting taxed. So the point where, when you say that it isn't fair, this resolution is very fair in what it says. And the creation that all oil spills or all international events that happen in international waters or even in national have to go to the ICJ, which means that even if something happens, it's not like it's a dispute. It goes straight to the ICJ so that this dispute can be judged on...
Time for sponsors' closing statement for Resolution A has expired. We'll now move into 1 minute sponsors' closing statement for Resolution B.
I urge you all to vote for this resolution, as there are no chances or any excuse to vote against this resolution. The population is around 80 million. And also, by reducing the air pollution and carbon emissions, the air we breathe can help or hinder our health and well-being. And electricity generation from fossil fuels can generate harmful carbon dioxides. And air pollution has been also linked to diseases such as asthma or allergies, bronchitis, pneumonia, headaches, anxiety, and whatnot. Generating electricity from solar panels produce no harmful emissions, and the more homes and businesses that rely on solar power means less toxic emissions from
Time
fossil.
for sponsors' closing statement has just expired.
Great job, everyone. Your debating skills were really outstanding. Congratulations to everyone who spoke. You spoke really well. But we have to make a decision and choose the best resolution. So, according to the entire chair panel,
What? Wait. What did I even say?
the best resolution was Team A's. This being clapping will be tolerated. Let me do it then. According to the chair panel, the best resolution written and debated was Team A. Clapping will be tolerated. Congratulations. Great job debating, everyone. We're reaching the end of the EAMUN conference.
So we will be moving into the award ceremony and special announcements.
Okay, so guys, as usually conducted, it's now time to award and celebrate those who made this conference successful. So we'll begin with best resolution in each committee.
Okay, so the best resolution for the Ecology Committee was USA's resolution. Can the ambassador of USA please approach? The best resolution for the Economic Committee was South Africa's resolution.
Oh shoot, no camera. Where's Trevor? Emma, wait.
Can Prescott Trevor please approach? The best resolution for the Political Committee was South Korea's resolution. The best resolution for Human Rights Committee was Switzerland's resolution.
And the best resolution in Security Council was Russia's resolution. Congratulations, guys. You all did very well.
So for GA, we have three best speakers and 3 best delegates.
Can I announce one?
Oh wait,
We
okay.
need to smile.
So the first best speaker was Abasali from Samoa. The next best speaker was Amara Visram from Spain. And the third best speaker was Mercy from Kazakhstan. Since he's not here, can any delegate from his delegation just come up and get it? For best delegates, our first person was Ashi from Kuwait. Then we have Noor from Pakistan. And third, we have Aya from Argentina.
honorable mentions, yeah? Let's go.
First do Serena. Then the Belize.
For honorable mentions, we have Serena from Argentina. Then we have Alam Biryani from Norway. And my personal favorite, the delegation of Belize. Come on, guys, Belize. The entire delegation of Belize. Another round of applause for Belize, guys.
Okay, so now I'll be announcing the best speakers in Security Council. But before I do this, I just have to say that everyone in Security Council did extremely well and we had a lot of fun. So for Security Council, we have Ali from Russia and Falak from India. And an honorable mention is Disha Rathod, who entertained us with her stories, which we all loved.
So the quality of debate in GS was impeccable this time, so it was very difficult for us to pick the best speakers. But we ended up making a decision, and the best speakers are
Sigi Karanja, and Rasmeet Kaur Garbo.
We also have a few honorable mentions. We have Uzma Sheikh. And then we have Emmanuel Antonio Miambo and Muhammad Haji.
And if you are a junior chair, please do make your way to the front. Guys, can you please have another round of applause for everyone here who did so amazing. We're so proud of you all. And of course, appreciate the senior chairs.
Also, can we take a moment to just appreciate our Secretary General on the exec team because of all the hard work they put into this conference?
So we'd also like to appreciate all the secretaries who made this possible. So can all the secretaries also please come to the front? And as well as our press corps, please come to the front. So congratulations to everyone standing here in front, and thank you everyone who's here also for coming and making this conference a success. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys. Okay, you guys can all now go and sit. Thank you.
Silas.
I'm gonna cry.
I don't know.
You
don't know, I haven't checked the polls. Go and sit down. Go and sit down.
Exec committee.
Oh.
Can you guys stay here?
Finish.
Yeah. So now, guys, it's time to introduce you to the executive committee for the 21st annual OAMUN conference. I will yield to the treasurer.
Okay, so I'm Dylan. I'm pretty sure you've all seen me around, run around, take pictures. It's a habit of mine. I know I'm just an exec, but I like doing everything from previous years. Yeah. Anyways, I'm here to give a small talk about the next treasurer. Honestly, I am both happy and sad. Having successfully done this year's OAMUN, I'm glad to say that I'm happy that I fulfilled my job very well. Do you guys agree? No? Who said no? Kristen, I'll see you after this. All right. Now, to my successor. Chair corrects himself. Now to my successor. She's an amazing. Hey, whoa. No, you're standing on the mic. Hello. No works. Hello. Okay, it works. Nice. Now to my successor. She's an amazing person. Personally, I've worked alongside her for quite a long time. I don't think anyone else would have suited this role better than her. Without further ado, I'd like to proudly say the treasurer for the 21st OMUN will be none other. Do you guys know who it is? You guys are smiling. Will be. Huh? I announce it. Yeah. All right. Will be Dear Shah.
Hi everyone, I'm sure you all know me from the senior chair and everything. I'm excited to work with you all next year and hope to see you all. Aside from that, just congratulations to all of you for debating and speaking really well and your resolutions. And I'm excited to see you all next year. Thank you.
Yeah, that's her. Anyways, I would like to pass it down to my second boss, the Assistant Secretary, Matthew Miano.
I'm sure when all of you guys see me here, you think that I'm going to say 59 seconds for you to sit down. But sadly, that has ended. So this conference this year has been a success. It's yet to finish because in the evening we have a party that we've been planning and we're all excited for. So as I hand over to the next Assistant Secretary for the 21st Annual OMUN, I would just like to say this role, take it with pride. Also take it with courage because the road won't be easy. It's a struggle. It's not easy planning a conference for many other schools and helping your section, making all the things flow smoothly. And also you guys, I hope to see many more of you guys next year, but sadly we won't be here, we'll be in the university. But you will see the new faces of the future executive committee, and I believe that the safest pair of hands to guide OMUN into greater heights into the future. And without further ado, I would like to congratulate the new Assistant Secretary for the 21st Annual OAMUN as Krishna Mehta.
Delegate, she's not here at the moment. However, now I would like to announce the Secretary for the 21st Annual OMUN. The person who is now Sec-Gen, I have complete faith that they know the nitty-gritty of MUN, how the procedures work, and they like torturing people. And this year, you guys bullied the next Sec-Gen too. So I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Without further ado, the next Sec-Gen is Veer Senik.
Speechless. That's one word that can describe what I am right now. What I can think about is I would like to say a few thank yous. I'd also like to thank my parents and also the current executive. I did opponent Glovo's. I've always wanted to be Secretary General and never know.
It's strange to think that 7 conferences later, this is when my OMUN career ends. It's a MUN that taught me how to give a speech, how to network, how to problem. Winners, I congratulate. Watch out for an email regarding our OAMUN charity project. Please do not leave yet.
Everyone sit down. Annual Model United Nations. I would like to declare this conference officially closed. Sit down!
We have one announcement.
Okay, so guys, so basically what we want to do is like a photo shoot. It's like a fun TikTok photo shoot. But before that, there's a few announcements I have to make regarding today evening. For those who are attending, the OMUN Ball